Welcome to South Sudan. Today, my name is Myong Kont. We are live in the United States, here in the middle of America. I want to welcome each and every one of you who are watching, wherever you may be, in the United States, Australia, Canada, or even in Europe, and also in our continent, the African continent. I want to welcome all of you, and our show tonight will feature the same topics, the issues about our country. But I'm going to give you something that might be a bit different tonight. What we will be discussing is how our country became a member of the United Nations. Since this month is the month of the UN, I want to take you back to 2013, how our flag and our nation was welcome to the League of Nations. This is something that we will be watching. I have a tape for that. And then after that, we will talk about it. If you have any questions, you have any additions, you have any concern, you are very excited, this is the right place to discuss it here. And then we will also, I also wanted to bring this to your notice that one of the South Sudanese musicians, a legend by the stage name Bulbul, was almost kidnapped, but thank God he's alive and is back in our country. For some reason, he found himself in one of the Asian countries, that is Thailand. There's a lot to that. We will touch base on that, but thank God our musician Bulbul, or his real name is Lul, is back to South Sudan. I want to congratulate every single person that helped to make that happen. God is great, and we need his voice in our country. And then after that, we also going to look at how the diaspora, wherever you may be, can bring peace to South Sudan. This is something that I've been telling you all along, every day. We are part and parcels of bringing peace to our country. But how can we do that? I need people who are very confident who will talk about it. So we also have those whom been helping us, the experts, including Dr. Thach and our brother Simon. I have invited them, and I hope that they will have time to join us as well. But until then, I will get back to you. I'll give you a little bit of music, but I want to see if you have any question, send me a text so that I can also answer. If you want to be part of this, I will send the links as soon as possible. I just need two things from you, a tie and a suit, and then a smile. That's all I need. So don't go away. Please stay with us. As I told you, tonight we will talk about how our country became a member of the nations at the UN. It was 2011 when our country was accepted as part of United Nations, the nation that was there since 77 years ago. It was 2011. Just right about 3 days after our country became independent, myself and the Vice President, Dr. Yomashar, flew to New York and witnessed the exceptions of our country. The reason I want to play it this time, I think it will be the first time for many people to see it, is because in order to go forward, we need to go back to where we came from. South Sudan was so united then. South Sudan was so together. The world loved our country. This is something that all of us need to cherish. I want you to look at it, and we will discuss it as we watch it together. This is South Sudan flag ready to be hosted at the UN.
After 50 years of civil war, South Sudanese have been finally recognized at the UN this afternoon.
I am both honored, humbled to stand here today to convey the profound gratitude of the people and Republic of South Sudan to the members of the General Assembly who have just voted in favor of South Sudan's accession to membership of the United Nations.
The United Nations has admitted the Republic of South Sudan as number 193rd nation. And this occasion was very historic for Africa and the rest of the world.
Opportunity to express our sincere thanks and appreciation to all those who contributed to the negotiation and signing of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement, including the United States, Kenya, Ethiopia, the United Kingdom, Norway, and many others, including, of course, the United Nations itself.
Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan, Dr. Riek Machar, gave a very moving speech, a speech that recognizes each and every country that has helped in bringing about the peace in South Sudan.
Great day for the people of South Sudan as a whole. After waiting for it for a long time, the people of Sudan deserve to be free, and at last the freedom has come. We are very happy for this day, and we look forward to living peacefully with our neighbors in Khartoum, and we also look forward to good governance from our leadership in the south.
إنجاز عظيم بالنسبة لشعب جنوب السودان، ونحن نتمنى أن الشعب جنوب السودان يكون يد على يد يشتغلوا سويا لأجل الوحدة والدعم ولأجل التنمية بتاع البلد ولأجل يعني توسيع العلاقات الدولية والإقليمية، حتى نحن كمان نكون معروفين عالميا. بقينا معروفين بالنسبة للمشاكل، لكن نكون معروفين بصورة أفضل، بصورة إن نحن بقينا نعمل دولة زيادة. قادر يقوم بكل المسؤوليات اللي اي دوله يقوم بها، ينمي الشعب في كل النواحي التنمويه والتعليم والصحه وكل الحاجات اللي الانسان محتاجها في حياته. ونحن نقول مبروك لكل انسان، خصوصا الاطفال الولد والليله ديل، يعني الفكر ده هيكون ميلاد عجيب، ميلاد يعني له تاريخ له معنى عجيب جدا. نشكر ربنا انه هو قدر يوصلنا ليوم الليله وقدر يبارك الليله ويتم بسلام. الناس ما كانوا متوقعين اليوم ده كده، لكن الحمد لله جاء. نشكر ربنا، دائما نرفع دعواتنا ربنا يساعد ويساهم في بناء دوله جديده.
If you see here, I was interviewing the former U.S. ambassador to UN, Dr. Susan Rice. That was at the Freedom Hall, Freedom Square, where our country became independent. Watch the question I'm asking and how she answered them. Again, how her answers to my questions relates to what is happening now in our country.
Well, first of all, the main point is that this is now the country for the people of South Sudan, and the challenges are the people's to resolve. It's your responsibility, but the United States has always been and will always be a very strong partner of South Sudan. And we want to support you as you deepen your democracy and fight corruption and respect human rights and make sure that economic development is widespread and available to as many people as possible. So we're excited about today. We're very mindful of the complex challenges you face, and we want to be supportive as you grow and develop.
You know, South Sudan is a new baby, and this new baby needs a babysitter, right babysitter.
No.
Can America be part, take some hours babysitting this?
Countries don't get babysat. They have to be responsible for themselves, which is one of the challenges of being a newborn. But you can have friends and supporters, and if not babysitters.
Thank you very much.
Okay, take care.
Welcome.
And also here, I had a chance to talk to late General Colin Powell, a man who was early on a friend to South Sudan. Again, listened to our discussion.
Sudan, I'm here with one of our South Sudan friends, Colin Powell, someone that have been seen for a long time working hard on South Sudan problem. What is the day today?
It was a glorious day for me, and I know it was a glorious day for the people of the Republic of South Sudan. I'm still practicing the new term, South Sudan. When we signed the agreement in January 2005, and I was one of the co-signers on behalf of the United States and President Bush, people wondered, can this really end this war? Can we really see peace? And 6 years later, we had the referendum. The people of South Sudan spoke strongly that they wanted their own country. And the North accepted it. It wasn't easy, but they accepted it. And what most impressed me today was not only the joy of the people, but to see each president give a speech that focused on reconciliation, and focused on finding a way forward and not looking backwards. And I hope that spirit continues because there are a lot of difficulties ahead. Abyei and places like that, border demarcation, the sharing of the oil revenues, all of these are challenging issues. But if we're talking about them and not fighting about them, we can move forward.
You know, the first phase of civil war in Sudan broke out during 1950. That was the time the Republican was in power. It happened that peace was broken by the time that Republican was also in power. But now South Sudan became a republic at the time that the Democrats are in power. So really brought this peace to Sudan. All the Democrats.
It was both. That's what makes this so good. I mean, President Bush, from the very beginning of his administration, focused on this fight. He appointed Senator Jack Danforth as a special emissary. I was instructed at the State Department to work on it. I came to the region several times. I stayed in touch with all the players. I got to know Dr. John very well. He would visit me every time he came to the United States. And so President Bush has a great record. And then when President Obama came in, he realized the importance of continuing the effort. And so he has assigned special envoys to work on it. Prince Lyman and others. And I know that the ambassador to the UN, Dr. Rice, Ambassador Rice has spent a lot of time on it. Dr. Rice before her, she was Secretary of State, spent a lot of time on it. So this is both Republicans and Democrats on both sides of our aisle in Congress. Money will be coming to help you because we saw the necessity for having peace in this part of the world. And it has nothing to do with Republicans and Democrats. It has to do with helping the people of Sudan. And I think we're going to.
One last question for me. Now, what can you tell, not only the world, but even the American government, Obama administration, about keeping these young nations to a peaceful country, also a nation that can be led to, because the leaders of this country will definitely work hard to make sure that they do the right thing, but they really need help. What can you tell the Americans there?
We have a lot of experience. We started out with the Declaration of Independence 235 years ago, and we're still improving our democracy with these past days. And so you have to focus on building institutions of democracy. It isn't just a declaration. It isn't just a printed speech. You have to teach people how to vote properly, how to act responsibly in politics. You have to create institutions of government that are seen as efficient and non-corrupt, serving the people. And ultimately, this was a political achievement. But the people can't eat politics. They can't eat a declaration. So political achievement has to flow over into economic development. With the people of Sudan, North and South, they want jobs. They want health care. They want education for their children. They want the same thing they want for my children and my grandchildren. And politicians are in office to give that to them, not just to be politicians.
One last one. There are many South Sudanese in America. Why? You know, and these people have been registered. Many of them have problems with the South Sudan because they have a minimum.
Well, they'll have to settle whatever issues they have back home, but I know a lot of Sudanese from the South who do want to come back here. And they can't come back here unless they are disengaged properly from the United States. And also that there is something here for them to do, that they are bringing some skills that are marketable. It's all about the economy. It's all about creating the opportunities for jobs. South Sudan has that potential. You have land that can be cultivated, you have oil. You have so many wonderful resources. The president said so in his speech. Now you have to train your people to use those resources in a sensible way to improve the country and better the life of the people. Politics is all about bettering the life of the people, not getting elected.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. And I hope you will come back.
Oh, I will be back.
Deepen your democracy and fight corruption and respect your
As you listen to us, as I was talking to late Colin Powell, he said great message to us, not only to the leader, but to the people of South Sudan. And as he said, very clear, politics doesn't fit people. And only when the leaders made sure that the people of the country are fed, because elections alone without anything will not do anything. So I want to go to a short break now, then I will come back shortly. Don't go away. We will be right back.
Today we are free. Oh yes, we are free at last. Freedom has come today. We had a dream, burning like a fire. Yeah, dream has come true today. We are believers, believing in
Welcome to South Sudan today. My name is Myong Kwant. As I was telling you, this was my discussion with late Colin Paul, God be with him. But that was the day that our country became independent, and of course he was there. And we discussed more of how the future of South Sudan would be. So the reason I'm playing all this is to take you back on where we came from. There's no wrong time to do the right things. That's why I will tell you, let's give peace a chance so that we all win, all of us. I want you to go along and see what happened when we got to the UN.
We have a lot of experience. We started out with the Declaration of Independence 235 years ago, and we're still improving our democracy that is past the day. And so you have to focus on building institutions of democracy. It isn't just a declaration. It isn't just a printed speech. You have to teach people how to vote properly, how to act responsibly in politics. You have to create institutions of government that are seen as efficient and non-corrupt, serving the people. And ultimately, this was a political achievement. But the people can't eat politics. They can't eat a declaration. So political achievement has to flow over into economic development. With the people of Sudan, North and South, they want jobs. They want health care. They want education for their children. They want the same thing I want for my children, my grandchildren. And politicians are in office to give that to them, not just to be politicians.
One last one. There are many South Sudanese in there. Right. You know, and these people have been educated. Many of them have problems with South Sudan because they have a minimum.
Well, they'll have to settle whatever issues they have back home, but I know a lot of Sudanese from the South who do want to come back here. But they can't come back here unless they have disengaged properly from the United States. And also that there is something here for them to do, that they are bringing some skills that are marketable. It's all about the economy. It's all about creating the opportunities for jobs. South Sudan has that potential. You have land that can be cultivated, you have oil. You have so many wonderful resources. The president said so in his speech. Now you have to train your people to use those resources in a sensible way to improve the country and better the life of the people. Politics is all about bettering the life of the people, not getting elected.
Thank you very much for your power, and I hope you will come back.
Well, I will be back.
Thank you so much. I was just talking to him, and he has assured the public here in South Sudan that he is trying to learn how to say it because it's too new for him. This is me reporting at Don't.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And here is after the inclusion of the Republic of South Sudan to the League of Nations, former ambassadors to the UN, former US ambassador to the UN, Dr. Susan Rice, invited us for a party to celebrate the independence of South Sudan at the Embassy of United Nations. At the Embassy of the US in New York. That shows you the level of how much Americans were so involved to help us become independent in our country. They have done so much, and we need to recognize that. So that day was only South Sudanese and all the diplomats from around the world. I was the only person and my camera person to be able to capture that movement. Check that time and see what happens.
Excellency Dr. Riek Machar Kenny Durgong, Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan, Mr. President of the General Assembly, Secretary General, Madam Deputy Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished guests, I'm honored to welcome you to this historic occasion as we introduce a new member into our family of nations. It gives me great pleasure to give the floor to His Excellency Dr. Riek Machar, Vice President of the Republic of Sudan, South Sudan. Your Excellency, the President of the General Assembly, Your Excellency, the Secretary General, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this is to us as people of South Sudan a historic and also an emotional day for us. To be accepted, to be admitted into the international community today. I have few words to make, but just to introduce you to our flag. Our flag has those colors. The black actually means the Sudan, because the word Sudan comes from the Arabic word black. The white stripes represent peace. We aspire for peace, for stability in our country, with our neighbors, and the region, and the worldwide. The red one symbolizes our sacrifices that we have made long, long ago, not recent, since centuries ago. The green is the land, the lush land, the land which is arable, the land that has kept us, protected us. All of it is green. The blue color is the Nile. Most of the tributaries of the Nile pass by South Sudan before it becomes the Nile. The star is the star of hope, the hope of our people. So I am happy, and on behalf of my delegation, which includes the Foreign Minister, Bangalore, and our Minister of Finance, on their behalf, we are so delightful of what has happened. I believe my President and the rest of the government and the people of South Sudan are also watching this event. Your Excellency, Mr. President, I have no more to say, but we are humbled that we are now part of the world community. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you for your remarks. Now I'd like to give the floor to Secretary General to make his remarks.
Mr. President, stood among hundreds of thousands of people of your country. Together, we watched your flag rise for the first time over your new capital, Juba. Now that flag will rise for the first time over our shared capital, the capital of the international community here at the United Nations. The United Nations is very pleased to welcome our 193rd member states, the newest nation in Africa, the newest nation on earth. The colors of your flag represent the people, peace, the bloodshed of freedom. Your land and waters with a guiding star for unity. On behalf of the international community and all the people of the world, we salute that flag. We will work with you to realize all the hopes and dreams it represents. We ensure justice, peace, and prosperity. We will stay with you on the long road ahead. Like your flag, let us rise. Let us rise together to the challenge. Mabruk, South Sudan, oyez!
Thank you, Secretary General. I'd now like to give the floor to His Excellency the President of the General Assembly.
Mr. Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan, Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a beautiful day for the Republic of South Sudan and for the United Nations. From now on, the community of nations gathered in the General Assembly will count one more member. It's 193rd member. The independence of South Sudan and its admission to the United Nations is a remarkable achievement. A long-standing conflict has been stopped and grievances put aside. This stands for an example for peaceful settlement of conflict, for peace and cooperation between countries for the benefit of their people. From now on, the flag adopted for South Sudan will float as high and as proud as any other flag here in New York and around the world. I thank the Republic of Mauritius for making space today to the flag of the youngest member of the United Nations. This is a symbolic gesture which expresses the solidarity and the friendship that must prevail among nations. The best interest of all of us is in cooperating and living in harmony. The United Nations always stands ready to support countries in this endeavor. In particular, our organization is eager to continue its close and long-term partnership with Sudan and South Sudan and support the two partners in implementing peaceful solutions to the outstanding issues for the peace process. In joining the United Nations, South Sudan shows that it shares the values enshrined in the UN Charter. South Sudan will enjoy the same rights, the same responsibilities as any other member state. I'm confident that this youngest member will contribute to promoting the objectives of the United Nations of bringing peace, security, prosperity, friendship, and cooperation among peoples. Peace, prosperity, and success in the future. These are my wishes and the wishes of the General Assembly for the Republic of South Sudan and its people. And I extend them again a warm welcome to the United Nations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our flag raising ceremony will commence.
Detail! Freeze! Head! Flag!
These two officers, actually three, but the two officers that are closed to the flags, about to raise the flags, they both come from Ethiopia. What a coincidence.
Detail! And salute! Detail! Ready! Two! Detail! Outward haste! Detail! Dismiss!
For Africa and the rest of the world.
So if you see that, it's opportunity to express our sincere thanks.
It was so beautiful that we were so emotional. Sorry for the tape. We were all so emotional. This is how our country became a member of the United Nations. I want you to watch that. When the flag was raised, it happened as a coincidence that the two officers who happened to raise the flag of the Republic of South Sudan both come from Ethiopia, and where our flag was placed was also given to us by Mauritius, a country from Africa as well. They removed their flag and put it to where our country flag would be. At the UN, they line up the countries according to the letters, alphabetical. South Sudan would be between South Africa and Sudan, all the countries that start with S. So the whole world came in respect and also in support of the young nation called South Sudan. You see, the former UN head, Ban Ki-moon, is on the left side of Dr. Machar. He, by then, was the head of the UN, and he was the person that accepted the Republic of South Sudan.
Peace, prosperity, and success.
Right after we finished the hosting of the flag, the entire UN officials came with delegation that come somewhat very good. And when you realize that our country is out there with us and must work that our nation. Let Colin Powell say that politics has been achieved. The achievement of having the nation, political achievement. But what lies next? The economic achievement. That's what our friend late Colin Powell told us. He also said that you have the land that has the best agriculture in the world. You also say you have the oil. You have all these resources. You just need political understanding to make the South Sudan one of the best. You see how many people line up to greet the leaders of South Sudan. These people come from all over the world, different countries. You can see their faces. It's because what we had achieved was one of the great things that many countries rarely achieve. God was with us. And of course, God's still with us. I want you to see how the nation came together to embrace the Republic of South Sudan and welcome our country at the UN. This is the country that has the flags flying like any other country now. The works remain with us.
Thank you very much. We made it.
We don't see our leaders, actually dialoguing with each other.
Lang
So, as I told you earlier, the acceptance of our country at the UN was one of the emotionals. But for those who are watching this tape now, there's another thing that actually made many of us sad. It's because some of the people that you are seeing on this video are no longer alive. This is one of the things that made it very, very sad. For those who might recognize who are there, some of these people are no longer there. These are the people who worked hard day and night as well to make what happened at the UN happen. This is a result of what all South Sudanese put together. It was not for one person, it was not for one tribe, it was not for one leader, and of course, it was not for some other people in the country. It was for all of us. Whether you are short or tall, fat or thin, black or white, depending on the color we have, we are all part of what happened. Our ancestors started this, what happened at the UN. It was not us. They started this long time ago. And that's the result of what they started back in 1947 at Juba Convention, asking for the independence of South Sudan. Now, for whoever have never seen this, this is how our country was accepted by almost every country at the UN. Even the Sudanese themselves were greeting us with open arms. Why? Because we forced everybody to accept us. I want to let you know, it should not be us that can destroy this country. We have time, even though we have done so many bad things to ourselves, to this country, there has never been a wrong time to do the right things. I'm appealing to all South Sudanese, wherever you may be, it's time for us to do the right things. The lady you have just seen greeting our leaders is the former ambassador to UN, the US former ambassador to UN, Dr. Susan Rice. She was one of the happiest of that occasion. That's how she greeted us, each and every person that was there from South Sudan. I wonder if she still can give that hug right now. one gentleman right in the middle of your screen is late Lam Chol Tishwang. Lam lost his life in 2013 massacre in Juba. He's no longer with us, but I'm very happy that he was part and parcel of making what happened to our country. He's part of what happened at the UN. And he's also part and parcel of those who helped to bring our country to being. Well, of course, it's emotional. Definitely, it's very emotional. But we need to go back to where we come from in order to go forward. We need to revisit what happened during the glory days. And I would also say it, we still have these glory days. It's us that can make ourselves smile. We have our country finally. We have the Republic of South Sudan. You give it the name you want. It's still our country. You can be outside, can be inside. It's still our country. What matters now is for each and every adult who is able of doing anything possible, that they be part of the peace that is happening in South Sudan. Don't be part of a problem, be part of a solution. Let's go all the atrocities that happened to ourselves before, because if we hold on to those grudges, we will not go anywhere. Yes, you will not agree with me, it's your right, but all in all, South Sudanese need to come together. South Sudanese need to realize that God loves us as well. If you watch the tape that we just seen now, you have seen that line. It had to be stopped because every person wanted to see how these people put it together. There are so many countries, as we speak now, that had been waiting for 40 plus years trying to become independent. Some of them declared their own independence in their own way, but the UN refused to accept them to be part of the leagues. The UN refused because they did not follow what they supposed to have, or they were not recognized in their own regions. But for us in South Sudan, God was with us. We worked so hard, 2+ million lives were lost. They did not die in vain because after all, we have our country. Yes, we have killed ourselves in 2013 and we're still doing it now. It is time for South Sudanese to realize that our life is more precious than our egos. I'm appealing to all of you, not the leaders. Leaders are leading people like us. We can create our own unity, our own love within the country, and our leaders would be surprised how we come together. Yes, we have Mr. X and Y's who have done this and done that. But in order to get to the bottom of anything that happens, we must have a peace that brings the country together, that will bring those people who were greeting us, giving us, opening their heart to us, that we become recognized, we become republic, we are a nation, we are independent. These people will never come back to us. will not welcome us if we don't come together. The president of the General Assembly by then, who spoke earlier, if you missed it, his name was Joseph Deist. He was the president of the General Assembly at the UN, and this is what he had to say. The UN welcome the Republic of South Sudan. We are ready to support you. You have all the right any nation has at this unity, and also you have the responsibility as well. These are the words of the international community who welcome us with open arms. Ladies and gentlemen, the task is with us. And I will not stop whether you agree with me or not. The only way to get to what we want or to where we want or to achieve anything or what happened is for South Sudanese to come together. There's no other way. We will be right back.
TGA, the good guy, another one. Do you know that I love you? Do you know that I need you? Do you know that I love you? Do you know that I need you? Baby, let's get down. This is the song for the dancing door. Do you know that I love you? Do you know that I need you? Do you know that I love you? Do you know that I need you? Baby, let's get down.
So this comes to the conclusion of our show, and this is what I want you to see tonight. It is very important that we have to go back to what we had done, the great thing that we had done to ourselves, instead of focusing on all the negative that happened to this country. I told you earlier about our legends. Bulbul, or his real name is Lul. He was almost part of the human trafficker, but thank God that he was saved. I did not talk to him personally, but I'm told that he's back in South Sudan right now. I want to talk to you, brother. God of South Sudan, God of the entire world, has saved you. I understand that our country is in hardship. Some people will blame you of how you end there and where you almost lost your life. But that's how it is. I can only tell you that God was with you and you are back to us. That is all we need. Welcome back to South Sudan. There will be a time to bring you on this show so that you can tell us the ordeals you went through. What I want to tell to each and everyone else who might be watching me now, human trafficking is real. It is happening. The way it's happening is that it comes through the regular thing that we do in life. That's what happened to our musicians. We were just going to a job in Asia. I think the country was Thailand, not knowing that it was actually being lured to become the numbers of women that have been trafficking. Again, we have the news that is happening in Uganda. I don't know what's the truth about it, but I've seen and I watch it, but have not gotten the facts. So I cannot use it here as a report because I did not have a concrete report of what really happened. But if that is true, it's also not a good thing. So human trafficking is happening here in United States. One of the states, if you don't know that, in mid-America is Nebraska. Nebraska is the highest state, one of the highest states in the United States that is passing the human trafficking through our city. We don't know. It is happening here as well. So please be very, very, very careful. You might have a passport. You are happy that you have a nation now, that you have a passport, you can fly anywhere you want if you have a ticket. That can happen. That is exciting, I know. But please be very, very, very extra careful. Whether you are in our country or you are a neighboring country, wherever you may be, it's not what you see that happens the way it's supposed to be. Ask some question. Have a second thought. Ask someone what actually is happening. Don't just get anything online and thinking that this is real. No. But I want you to be very, very mindful, because human trafficking is real. Again, I want to say thanks to our viewers and those who might watch us after the show finish. All I need from you is tune in and do what is the right things. Let all give peace a chance so that we all win together. Again, thank you for watching. I will see you next Wednesday, same time, same place, right here.
Chakerinde, lilimde, chuchumde, guramigade. Dunde midunga menake koloide, libe, ilide, manginide. Banginigad kalus kotin tong